Have you ever felt like your whole world was falling apart, only to realize later that everything happened just as it should? Maybe you missed a train and felt frustrated, but then you bumped into an old friend at the station. Or perhaps you didn't get that job you wanted so badly, but a few months later, an even better opportunity came knocking at your door. These moments, when things seem to align perfectly, even if we don't see it right away, that's what we call divine timing. And today, we're diving deep into this fascinating topic of divine timing and the signs the universe sends our way. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about divine timing? Well, let me tell you, understanding divine timing can completely change how you view your life's journey. It's like having a secret map that helps you navigate the twists and turns of life with more peace and trust. Imagine feeling calm and confident even when things don't go as planned, because you know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. That's the power of understanding divine timing. But here's the thing. If we're not paying attention, we might miss out on these incredible signs and opportunities the universe is constantly showing us. It's like walking through a beautiful garden with your eyes closed. You're missing all the beauty and guidance around you. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on the wonderful things life has in store for you. So, what exactly is divine timing? Think of it as the universe's perfect schedule. It's the idea that everything happens at the exact moment it's supposed to. Even if that moment doesn't align with our personal timelines or expectations, it's like a cosmic dance where all the pieces of our lives come together in just the right way at just the right time. Let me give you an example to make this clearer. Imagine you're trying to bake a cake. You mix all the ingredients, put it in the oven, and set the timer. Now, if you take the cake out too early, it'll be a gooey mess. If you leave it in too long, it'll burn. But if you take it out at just the right time, that's divine timing. In life, sometimes we want things to happen right away, or we think they're taking too long. But just like with the cake, there's a perfect time for everything. Divine timing isn't about sitting back and doing nothing, waiting for good things to fall into your lap. It's about trusting the process, doing your part, and having faith that things will unfold as they should. It's understanding that sometimes a delay or a no isn't a dead end, but a redirection to something even better. Think about a time when something didn't work out the way you wanted, but looking back now, you can see why it happened that way. Maybe you didn't get into your first choice college, but at the school you did attend, you met your best friends or discovered your true passion. That's divine timing at work. Divine timing also teaches us patience and trust. In our fast-paced world, we often want everything to happen instantly. We send a text and expect an immediate reply. We order something online and want it delivered yesterday. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the things we want most take time to manifest. Just like a seed needs time to grow into a beautiful flower, our dreams and goals often need time to come to fruition. Understanding divine timing can also help us let go of the need to control everything. It's about finding a balance between taking action towards our goals and surrendering to the flow of life. It's recognizing that while we can plan and work hard, ultimately, there are bigger forces at play. But how do we know if something is divine timing or just random chance? That's where signs from the universe come in. These signs are like little winks from the universe, guiding us along our path and reassuring us that we're on the right track. Now, let's talk about some common signs the universe might send our way. These signs can be subtle or sometimes quite obvious, but they're always there if we're willing to pay attention. One of the most common signs is seeing repeated numbers. Have you ever noticed that you keep seeing the same number sequence over and over? Maybe you wake up at 11:11 every morning, or you keep seeing 333 everywhere you look. These repeated numbers, often called angel numbers, are believed to carry special messages from the universe. For example, seeing 111 or 1111 is often associated with new beginnings and opportunities. It's like the universe is telling you, hey, pay attention. Something new and exciting is coming your way. Seeing 222 might be a reminder to have faith and trust in the process, even if things seem uncertain right now. Another common sign is unexpected encounters or coincidences. You know those moments when you're thinking about someone and suddenly they call or text you? Or when you keep hearing about a particular book or place from different people in a short span of time? These aren't just random accidences. They could be the universe trying to get your attention. I remember a time when I was considering a career change but feeling unsure about it. Within the span of a week, I met 3 different people at random places, a coffee shop, a bus stop, and a friend's party, who all worked in the field I was interested in. Each of them shared positive experiences about their work without me even mentioning my interest. It felt like the universe was saying, hey, this is worth exploring. Sometimes signs can come in the form of recurring themes or symbols. Maybe you keep seeing butterflies everywhere, in nature, on TV, in artwork. Butterflies often symbolize transformation and change. If you're going through a period of transition in your life, these recurring butterfly sightings might be the universe's way of reassuring you that you're on the right path. Physical sensations can also be signs from the universe. Ever had a sudden feeling of warmth or a tingling sensation when you're making an important decision or thinking about a particular person? Some people describe it as a gut feeling or intuition. This could be the universe's way of guiding you or confirming that you're on the right track. Dreams are another powerful way the universe communicates with us. Have you ever had a dream that felt incredibly vivid or meaningful? Maybe you dreamt about a long-lost friend and then ran into them the next day. Or perhaps you had a dream that gave you the solution to a problem you've been struggling with. These aren't just random firings of your brain during sleep. They could be messages from the universe. It's important to remember that signs from the universe are often personal. What serves as a sign for one person might not have the same meaning for another. That's why it's crucial to pay attention to what resonates with you personally. Maybe you have a special connection with a certain animal, and seeing that animal often feels significant to you. Trust your instincts about what feels meaningful. Also, keep in mind that signs don't always have to be positive or pleasant experiences. Sometimes, the universe might send us challenges or obstacles as signs. These might be redirecting us from a path that's not right for us or teaching us important lessons we need to learn. For example, if you keep facing the same problem over and over in different situations, it might be the universe's way of telling you there's something you need to address or a lesson you need to learn. Maybe you keep having conflicts with coworkers in different jobs. Instead of just blaming bad luck or difficult people, this could be a sign that you need to work on your communication skills or set better boundaries. Another interesting sign can be found in synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be just chance. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, coined this term. It's when external events seem to align perfectly with your internal state or needs. For instance, you might be going through a tough time and feeling lost, and then you randomly come across a book that speaks directly to your situation and provides the guidance you need. Technology glitches can sometimes be signs too, believe it or not. In our digital age, we're constantly surrounded by technology. When your phone keeps dying even though it's fully charged, or your GPS suddenly stops working. When you're trying to get somewhere, it might be the universe's way of telling you to disconnect, be present in the moment, or pay attention to your surroundings. Nature can also send us powerful signs. A beautiful sunset, just when you needed a moment of peace. A rainbow appearing after you've made a difficult decision, or a gentle breeze on a still day when you're asking for guidance. These can all be seen as signs from the universe. Sometimes signs come in the form of overheard conversations. Have you ever been mulling over a question and then suddenly overhear strangers discussing exactly what you've been thinking about? This isn't just coincidence. It could be the universe providing you with the answer you've been seeking. Music can be another powerful medium for signs. That song that comes on the radio with lyrics that perfectly describe your current situation, or a melody that brings back a significant memory just when you needed it. These can be seen as the universe communicating with you through sound. It's also worth noting that sometimes the absence of signs can be a sign in itself. If you've been asking for guidance on a particular issue and seem to be met with silence, it might be the universe's way of telling you to look within for the answers, or that it's not the right time to make a move yet. Remember, the key to recognizing these signs is to stay open and aware. The universe is constantly communicating with us, but in our busy lives it's easy to brush these signs off as mere coincidences or ignore them altogether. By cultivating a sense of mindfulness and staying open to the possibilities, you'll start noticing more and more of these divine hints in your daily life. Now that we've talked about what divine timing is and some common signs from the universe, let's dive into how you can recognize divine timing in your own life. This is where things get really exciting, because once you start tuning into divine timing, you'll begin to see your life in a whole new light. First and foremost, recognizing divine timing requires developing a sense of awareness. It's about being present in the moment and paying attention to what's happening around you and within you. This doesn't mean you need to analyze every little thing that happens in your day. Rather, it's about cultivating a general sense of mindfulness in your daily life. Start by taking a few moments each day to simply be still and observe. This could be during your morning coffee, on your commute to work, or before you go to bed. Notice your surroundings, your thoughts, and your feelings. The more you practice this, the more attuned you'll become to the subtle signs and synchronicities around you. Another key aspect of recognizing divine timing is learning to trust your intuition. We all have that inner voice that gut feeling that sometimes tells us to do something or warns us against it. In our logical, fast-paced world, we often ignore this intuition in favor of what seems rational. But when it comes to divine timing, your intuition can be your best guide. For example, have you ever had a strong urge to call a friend out of the blue, only to find out they really needed to talk to someone at that moment? Or maybe you felt drawn to take a different route home from work and ended up avoiding a major traffic jam. These intuitive nudges can be signs of divine timing at work. It's also important to pay attention to the flow of your life. When things are in divine timing, they often feel effortless. It's like swimming with the current instead of against it. This doesn't mean everything will be easy. Challenges can certainly be part of divine timing too. But there's a sense of rightness, even in the difficulties. For instance, maybe you've been trying to force a particular outcome in your life, like pushing for a promotion at work. But no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't seem to be happening. Then, when you finally decide to let go and trust the process, suddenly a better opportunity opens up that you hadn't even considered before. That's divine timing in action. Recognizing patterns is another way to tune into divine timing. Life often moves in cycles, and noticing these patterns can help you understand the timing of events in your life. Maybe you notice that every few years you go through a period of major change, or perhaps you realize that your most creative ideas always come to you during a certain season. These patterns can give you clues about when to take action and when to wait. It's also helpful to reflect on past experiences. Think back to times in your life when things didn't go as planned, but ended up working out even better than you could have imagined. These experiences can help you trust in divine timing even when things seem uncertain in the present. For example, maybe you once missed a flight and felt incredibly frustrated, only to meet someone on the next flight who ended up becoming a close friend or important business contact. Or perhaps you didn't get accepted into your dream college, but the school you did attend led you to discover your true passion. Reflecting on these experiences can help you recognize similar patterns of divine timing in your current life. Another way to recognize divine timing is to pay attention to doors that open and close in your life. When something is meant for you, doors tend to open almost effortlessly. On the other hand, if you're pushing hard for something and keep encountering obstacles, it might be a sign that it's not the right time or not the right path for you. This doesn't mean you should give up at the first sign of difficulty. Sometimes challenges are there to test our resolve or to help us grow. But if you consistently face major roadblocks despite your best efforts, it might be worth considering if you're trying to force something that's not in divine timing. Recognizing divine timing also involves being open to surprises and unexpected turns of events. Sometimes, the universe has plans for us that are far better than anything we could have imagined for ourselves. Being open to these surprises, rather than rigidly sticking to our own plans, can lead us to amazing opportunities. For instance, you might have your heart set on a particular job, only to be offered a completely different position that turns out to be perfect for you. Or you might reluctantly agree to attend an event you're not excited about, only to meet someone there who changes your life. These unexpected twists are often where the magic of divine timing reveals itself. It's also important to note that divine timing doesn't always align with our desired timing. In our instant gratification culture, we often want things to happen right away. But divine timing operates on its own schedule. Learning to be patient and trust the process is a crucial part of recognizing and working with divine timing. This doesn't mean you should just sit back and wait for things to happen. Divine timing is a dance between taking inspired action and allowing things to unfold. It's about doing your part, working towards your goals, making plans, taking steps forward, while also being open to guidance and willing to adjust your course if needed. Another aspect of recognizing divine timing is paying attention to your energy levels and emotional state. When you're in alignment with divine timing, you often feel energized, excited, and at peace, even if things are challenging. On the other hand, if you're constantly feeling drained, frustrated, or like you're swimming upstream, it might be a sign that you're out of sync with divine timing. Remember, recognizing divine timing is a skill that develops over time. It's not about getting it perfect every time, but about gradually becoming more attuned to the flow of your life and the signs around you. Be patient with yourself as you learn to recognize these signs and patterns. It can be helpful to keep a journal of signs, synchronicities, and moments when you feel in flow. Over time, you might start to see patterns emerge that can help you better understand how divine timing works in your life. Also, don't forget to celebrate the moments when you do recognize divine timing at work. Whether it's a small synchronicity or a major life event that falls perfectly into place, taking the time to acknowledge these moments can help reinforce your connection to divine timing and increase your awareness of it in the future. Lastly, remember that divine timing is deeply personal. What looks like perfect timing in someone else's life might not be right for you. Trust your own journey and your own inner guidance. Your path is unique, and the way divine timing manifests in your life will be unique too. By cultivating awareness, trusting your intuition, recognizing patterns, reflecting on past experiences, staying open to surprises, practicing patience, and paying attention to your energy levels, you'll become more and more attuned to the divine timing in your life. And as you do, you'll likely find that life becomes more flow, more meaningful, and more magical than you ever imagined possible. In our busy, fast-paced lives, it's all too easy to miss the signs the universe is sending us. We're often so caught up in our daily routines, our worries, and our to-do lists that we fail to notice the subtle and sometimes not so subtle messages all around us. It's like we're wearing blinders, focused only on what's directly in front of us, missing the bigger picture. One of the main reasons we miss these signs is simply because we're not looking for them. Many of us go through life on autopilot, not really paying attention to the details of our experiences or the coincidences that occur. We might brush off a recurring number as just a random occurrence, or dismiss a gut feeling as indigestion. But when we start to open our eyes and actively look for signs, it's amazing how much we begin to notice. Another reason we might miss signs is that we're too attached to our own plans and expectations. We often have a fixed idea of how things should unfold in our lives, and when something doesn't fit into that plan, we might ignore it or push it aside. For example, if you're set on getting a particular job, you might ignore signs pointing you in a different career direction because it doesn't fit with what you think you want. Skepticism can also play a big role in missing signs from the universe. In our modern scientific world, many of us are taught to be skeptical of anything that can't be logically explained or proven. While healthy skepticism can be good, being overly skeptical can close us off to the magic and mystery of life. If we dismiss every coincidence or intuitive feeling as just random, we might be missing out on valuable guidance. Fear is another factor that can cause us to miss or ignore signs. Sometimes the universe might be nudging us towards a big change or a new direction, but change can be scary. It's often more comfortable to stay in our familiar routines, even if they're not serving us well. So we might subconsciously choose to ignore signs that are pushing us out of our comfort zone. Busyness and distraction are huge culprits when it comes to missing signs. In our technology-driven world, we're constantly bombarded with information, notifications, and stimuli. We rarely give ourselves time to be quiet, to reflect, or to simply observe our surroundings. When we're always rushing from one thing to the next, always connected to our devices, we miss out on the subtle whispers of the universe. Sometimes we miss signs because they don't come in the form we expect. We might be waiting for a big dramatic sign, a burning bush, or a voice from the heavens, when in reality the signs are often much more subtle. A casual comment from a friend, a book that falls off the shelf, or a recurring dream might all be signs if we're paying attention. Another reason we might miss signs is that we're looking in the wrong place. Sometimes we're so focused on one area of our lives, like our career or our relationship, that we miss signs showing up in other areas. The universe doesn't always communicate in the way or place we expect, so it's important to stay open and aware in all aspects of our lives. Timing can also play a role in why we miss signs. Sometimes we're just not ready to receive or understand a particular message. It might not be the right time in our lives, or we might need to learn certain lessons first before we can recognize and act on a sign. This is why the same sign might show up multiple times in our lives. The universe is patient and will keep sending the message until we're ready to receive it. Overthinking can be another obstacle to recognizing signs. Sometimes, when we do notice a potential sign, we might analyze it to death, trying to figure out exactly what it means or if it's really a sign. This overanalysis can actually cloud our intuition and make it harder to understand the message being conveyed. Lastly, sometimes we miss signs because we're afraid of the responsibility that comes with recognizing them. If we acknowledge a sign, it might mean we need to take action or make a change in our lives. It's sometimes easier to pretend we didn't see the sign than to step up and make the change it's calling for. Missing signs can have a significant impact on our lives. It can lead us to stay in situations that no longer serve us, miss out on wonderful opportunities, or continue down paths that aren't aligned with our true selves. When we consistently miss or ignore signs, we might find ourselves feeling stuck, unfulfilled, or like we're constantly swimming against the current. However, it's important to remember that it's never too late to start paying attention. The universe is patient and persistent. Even if you've been missing signs for years, once you start opening yourself up to them, you'll likely find that they're still there, waiting for you to notice. Now that we understand why we might miss signs, let's talk about how we can become more open to divine timing and more receptive to the signs the universe is sending us. This isn't about dramatically changing your life overnight, but rather about gradually shifting your awareness and opening yourself up to the magic that's always around us. One of the most powerful ways to become more open to divine timing is to practice mindfulness. This simply means being present in the moment, fully engaged with whatever you're doing. When we're mindful, we're more likely to notice the little details, the synchronicities, and the gut feelings that might be signs from the universe. You don't need to meditate for hours to be mindful, although meditation can certainly help. Start by simply taking a few deep breaths throughout your day and really noticing your surroundings. What do you see, hear, smell, and feel? When you're eating, really taste your food. When you're walking, feel your feet on the ground. These small moments of presence can help you tune into the signs around you. Another important aspect of being open to divine timing is cultivating trust. This means trusting that the universe has your best interests at heart, even when things don't go as planned. It's about believing that everything happens for a reason, even if you can't see that reason right away. Building trust can be challenging, especially if you've been through difficult experiences. Start small. Reflect on past experiences where things worked out better than you expected, even when they didn't go according to plan. Use these memories to reinforce your trust in the universe's timing. Keeping a journal can be a powerful tool for becoming more open to divine timing. At the end of each day, write down any interesting coincidences, gut feelings, or potential signs you noticed. Over time, you might start to see patterns emerging. Plus, the act of writing things down will train your mind to be more aware of these occurrences in the future. It's also helpful to release the need for control. Many of us try to micromanage every aspect of our lives, but this can actually block us from receiving guidance and recognizing divine timing. Practice surrendering to the flow of life. This doesn't mean being passive, but rather doing your part and then letting go of the outcome. For example, if you're job hunting, you would still update your resume, apply for positions, and go to interviews. But instead of anxiously trying to control every detail, you trust that the right opportunity will come at the right time. This openness allows space for unexpected opportunities to enter your life. Another way to be more open to divine timing is to practice gratitude. When we're grateful for what we have, we shift our focus from what's lacking to the abundance in our lives. This positive focus can help us notice more of the good things around us, including signs and synchronicities. Try starting or ending your day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be as simple as a delicious cup of coffee or a kind word from a stranger. This practice helps tune your awareness to the positive aspects of your life. Spending time in nature can also help you become more open to divine timing. Nature operates on its own perfect timing. Seeds know when to sprout, birds know when to migrate. By connecting with nature, we can tap into this innate sense of timing. Plus, being in nature often helps us slow down and become more present, which makes us more likely to notice signs. Another powerful practice is to ask for signs. If you're facing a decision or feeling unsure about something, ask the universe for guidance. Be specific about what kind of sign you're looking for, and then stay open and alert to receive it. Remember, though, that the sign might not come in the exact form you expect, so stay open to surprises. Learning to trust your intuition is crucial for being open to divine timing. We all have an inner guidance system, but many of us have learned to ignore it in favor of logical thinking. Start paying attention to your gut feelings, your sudden inspirations, and your inexplicable urges to do or not do something. The more you listen to and act on your intuition, the stronger it will become. It's also helpful to surround yourself with like-minded people who are also interested in spirituality, divine timing, and personal growth. Having conversations about these topics can help reinforce your beliefs and practices, and you might learn new perspectives or techniques from others. Remember to be patient with yourself as you learn to be more open to divine timing. It's a skill that develops over time, so don't get discouraged if you don't notice dramatic changes right away. Every small step you take towards being more open and aware is valuable. Lastly, don't forget to have fun with it. Being open to divine timing isn't about being serious all the time. It's about living with a sense of wonder, curiosity, and openness to the magic of life. Approach it with a playful attitude, and you might be surprised at how much joy it brings into your life. So you've started to become more aware and open to divine timing, and you think you've noticed a sign. Now what? This is where many people get stuck. They recognize a sign but aren't sure how to interpret it or what action to take. Let's explore how to navigate this exciting but sometimes confusing territory. First and foremost, when you notice a sign, take a moment to acknowledge it. This might seem simple, but it's an important step. By consciously recognizing the sign, you're sending a message back to the universe that you're paying attention. It's like saying, "I see you and I'm listening." This acknowledgement can be as simple as saying thank you in your mind or taking a moment to feel grateful for the guidance. Next, try to stay calm and centered. It's easy to get excited or anxious when you notice a sign, especially if it's about something important in your life. But getting too emotional can cloud your judgment and make it harder to understand the message. Take a few deep breaths and try to approach the sign with a sense of curious detachment. Now it's time to reflect on the sign and its potential meaning. What was happening in your life, or what were you thinking about when you noticed the sign? Often, the context can give you clues about what area of your life the sign might be referring to. For example, if you've been considering a career change and you suddenly keep seeing ads or overhearing conversations about a particular field, that could be a sign pointing you in that direction. Or if you've been feeling stuck in a relationship and you keep coming across articles or shows about healthy communication, that might be a sign to focus on improving your relationship skills. It's important to remember that signs are often open to interpretation. The meaning might not be immediately clear, and that's okay. Don't force an interpretation if it doesn't feel right. Sometimes, the meaning of a sign becomes clear over time, so be patient with the process. If you're really unsure about the meaning of a sign, it can be helpful to ask for clarification. You can do this through prayer, meditation, or simply by asking out loud for more guidance. Be specific in your request. For example, you might say, "If this sign is about my career, please show me another sign in the next 3 days." Journaling can be a powerful tool when you're trying to understand a sign. Write down the details of the sign, what was happening when you noticed it, and any initial thoughts or feelings you had. Sometimes, the act of writing can help you make connections or realizations that weren't apparent at first. It can also be helpful to discuss the sign with a trusted friend or mentor, especially someone who is open to spiritual concepts. Sometimes, an outside perspective can help you see things you might have missed. Just be careful not to let others' interpretations override your own intuition. Once you have a sense of what the sign might mean, it's time to consider what action, if any, you need to take. Sometimes a sign is simply a reassurance that you're on the right path and no specific action is needed. Other times, it might be prompting you to make a change or take a specific step. If the sign is calling you to take action, start small. You don't need to make huge, life-altering decisions based on a single sign. Instead, take small steps in the direction the sign is pointing. For example, if you think the sign is encouraging you to explore a new career, you might start by doing some online research or reaching out to someone in that field for a conversation. As you take action, pay attention to how you feel. Does it feel right? Do things seem to flow easily? Or are you encountering a lot of obstacles? The way things unfold after you notice a sign can provide further guidance. Remember, divine timing often unfolds gradually. Don't expect everything to change overnight just because you noticed a sign. Trust the process and allow things to unfold in their own time. It's also important to maintain a balance between following signs and using your own judgment. Signs and divine guidance are tools to help us, but they don't replace our own decision-making abilities. Use the guidance you receive in conjunction with your own wisdom and common sense. If you notice a sign that seems to be guiding you towards something that goes against your values or that feels wrong in your gut, pause and reflect. It's possible you've misinterpreted the sign, or it could be a test of your own integrity. True divine guidance will never ask you to compromise your ethics or harm yourself or others. Sometimes you might notice conflicting signs. This can be confusing, but it's not uncommon. In these cases, it's often helpful to step back and look at the bigger picture. What overall direction do the majority of signs seem to be pointing? What aligns best with your higher purpose and values? Don't forget to express gratitude when you notice and act on signs. Gratitude keeps us open to receiving more guidance and helps maintain our connection with the universe. You might want to develop a gratitude ritual, like lighting a candle or saying a prayer of thanks each time you recognize a sign. Lastly, be patient and kind with yourself as you learn to work with signs and divine timing. It's a skill that develops over time, and it's normal to sometimes feel unsure or make mistakes. The universe understands that you're learning and growing. What matters most is your sincere intention to listen and follow the guidance you receive. Remember, noticing and acting on signs is not about achieving perfection. It's about living in harmony with the flow of the universe, trusting in divine timing, and being open to the magic and synchronicity of life. As you practice working with signs, you'll likely find that your life becomes more joyful, meaningful, and aligned with your true purpose. Dealing with doubt. When it comes to divine timing and signs from the universe, doubt is a natural and common experience. Even those who have been working with these concepts for years can sometimes find themselves questioning whether what they're experiencing is really a sign or just coincidence. Let's explore how to deal with these doubts in a healthy and constructive way. First, it's important to recognize that doubt isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, a healthy dose of skepticism can actually be beneficial. It keeps us from blindly following every perceived sign and encourages us to think critically. The key is to find a balance between openness to signs and practical discernment. One common source of doubt is fear of being wrong or making a mistake. We might worry that we're misinterpreting signs or that we'll make a bad decision based on what we think is divine guidance. Remember, though, that working with divine timing is a learning process. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we grow and refine our understanding. Another reason for doubt can be our logical mind trying to make sense of something that doesn't fit into our usual way of thinking. Our society often values rational thought above intuition, so it can feel uncomfortable to trust in something that can't be scientifically proven. In these moments, it can be helpful to remind yourself that there's still much about the universe that science doesn't fully understand. Being open to signs doesn't mean abandoning logic. It just means expanding your perspective. Sometimes doubt creeps in because the guidance we're receiving doesn't align with what we want or expect. For example, you might be hoping for a sign that tells you to stay in your comfortable job, but instead, you keep getting signs pointing you towards a new career. In these cases, doubt can be a form of resistance. Try to stay open to the possibility that the universe might have plans for you that are even better than what you've imagined for yourself. When dealing with doubt, it can be helpful to look for patterns. While a single coincidence might be easy to dismiss, a series of related signs is harder to ignore. Keep track of the signs you notice, either mentally or in a journal. Over time, you might start to see patterns that help confirm you're on the right track. It's also important to trust your intuition. How does a particular sign or guidance feel to you? Does it resonate on a deep level, even if your logical mind is skeptical? Learning to distinguish between the voice of intuition and the voice of fear or ego takes practice, but it's a valuable skill in working with divine timing. Remember, it's okay to ask for clarification. If you're feeling doubtful about a sign, you can always ask the universe for more guidance. Be specific in your request. For example, if this is really a sign about changing my career, please show me 3 more signs in the next week. Then stay open and attentive to what unfolds. Sometimes, talking to others who have experience with divine timing and signs can help when you're dealing with doubt. They might be able to share their own experiences or offer a perspective you hadn't considered. Just be careful not to rely too heavily on others' opinions. Ultimately, you need to trust your own inner guidance. It can also be helpful to reflect on past experiences where you've successfully recognized and followed signs. Remind yourself of times when trusting in divine timing led to positive outcomes in your life. This can help build your confidence and reduce doubt. If you're still feeling unsure, it's okay to take small steps rather than making big leaps. You don't have to dramatically change your life based on a sign you're unsure about. Instead, you can take small actions in the direction the sign is pointing and see how it feels. Does it lead to more signs? Does it feel right? This approach allows you to explore the guidance you're receiving without making commitments you're not ready for. Lastly, Remember that doubt is often just a sign that you're growing and expanding your consciousness. It's a natural part of the process of learning to work with divine timing. Instead of getting frustrated with your doubts, try to approach them with curiosity. What can you learn from this experience of doubt? How can it help you refine your understanding of divine timing? As we come to the end of our exploration of divine timing and signs from the universe, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned and consider how to move forward with this knowledge. We've discovered that divine timing is the idea that everything happens at the perfect moment, even if that moment doesn't align with our personal expectations or desires. We've explored various signs the universe might send us, from number sequences and unexpected encounters to dreams and intuitive feelings. We've learned how to recognize divine timing in our lives by cultivating awareness, trusting our intuition, and paying attention to the flow of events. We've also discussed why we sometimes miss these signs, whether due to busyness, skepticism, or fear, and how we can become more open to receiving them. We've talked about what to do when we notice a sign, from acknowledging it and reflecting on its meaning to taking inspired action. And we've addressed how to deal with the doubt that can sometimes arise when working with these concepts. Now, it's time to put this knowledge into practice. Here's your call to action. For the next week, commit to being more aware of potential signs in your life. Start each day with the intention to notice synchronicities, recurring themes, or anything that feels like a nudge from the universe. Keep a journal of what you notice. At the end of each day, write down any potential signs you observed, along with what was happening in your life at that time. Don't worry about interpreting them right away. Just focus on noticing and recording. At the end of the week, look back over your journal. Do you see any patterns? Were there any signs that particularly stood out to you? Reflect on what these signs might be telling you about your life's direction or any decisions you're currently facing. Remember, working with divine timing and signs is a skill that develops with practice. Be patient with yourself and approach this process with a sense of curiosity and openness. You might be surprised at what you discover. Don't forget to share your experiences with others who are interested in these concepts. Your stories might inspire someone else to pay attention to the signs in their own life. And hearing others' experiences can help validate and expand your own understanding. Lastly, trust in the process. Even when things don't make sense in the moment, have faith that everything is unfolding as it should. Divine timing doesn't always align with our desired timing, but it always works for our highest good. Divine timing and signs from the universe are powerful concepts that can transform the way we navigate our lives. By learning to recognize and work with these signs, we open ourselves up to guidance, synchronicity, and a deeper sense of connection with the world around us. Remember, the universe is constantly communicating with us. It's up to us to pay attention, to listen, and to trust in the wisdom that's being shared. This doesn't mean we give up our own agency or stop making decisions for ourselves. Rather, it's about finding a balance between taking inspired action and surrendering to the flow of life. Working with divine timing isn't always easy. There will be times of doubt, confusion, and uncertainty. But as you continue to practice and refine your ability to recognize and interpret signs, you'll likely find that life becomes more meaningful, more magical, and more aligned with your true purpose. So stay open, stay curious, and trust in the journey. The universe has incredible things in store for you, unfolding at the perfect divine time. Your task is simply to pay attention, trust the process, and enjoy the beautiful, mysterious dance of life as it unfolds. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to tune into the wisdom of the universe. Every experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, carries a message and an opportunity for growth. As you move forward from here, carry this awareness with you. Let it infuse your days with a sense of wonder and possibility. You are always supported, always guided, and always loved by the universe. Trust in that, and watch as the magic of divine timing unfolds in your life.